The paramedics were still rolling the stretcher down the hospital hallway when Corbin Hale realized his life had officially hit rock bottom. The fluorescent lights flickered above him like judgmental eyes, and the echo of his 8-year-old son's frightened breathing seemed to vibrate through the narrow corridor. It was supposed to be a normal afternoon, a simple grocery run, a simple drive home, yet here he was, clutching the handrail of the wall because his knees could barely hold him. The car that hit them had come out of nowhere, spinning their world into chaos. Noah was safe, thank God. Just a few bruises, but Corbin's own injuries meant he'd be out of work for weeks, maybe months. The bills were piling up, the fear was suffocating, and for the first time in years, the strong single father felt helpless. If you believe in kindness, miracles, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Soul of Light to help stories like this reach more hearts. With little family around and no one to lean on, Corbin reluctantly took the advice of a neighbor and joined a small community support group. He expected boring introductions, stale coffee, and people pretending their problems didn't smell as bad as his felt. What he didn't expect was to be pushed into agreeing to a blind coffee outing arranged by well-meaning but overly intrusive group members. They promised it would lift his spirits, claimed the girl was perfect for him, and insisted he needed a connection outside of responsibility and survival mode. Exhausted and desperate for relief, he finally gave in. The next afternoon, he sat in the sunlit cafe, anxiously tapping the chipped ceramic mug as he waited. That's when he saw her. A young woman was being wheeled inside by a caretaker, her posture folded slightly, her hands resting motionless on her lap. Her dark hair was tied in a simple braid, and her eyes, soft, searching, unsure, locked onto his with a quiet intensity. The caretaker leaned down to her, signing something gently. The girl nodded, then offered Corbin a ghost light smile. The caretaker approached him to explain that her name was Mevan Arlo. She was deaf, and paralysis had affected her mobility and speech, though she communicated through sign and a specialized device. And yes, the support group had intentionally left those details out. Corbin felt a flush of anger, not at Mevan, never at her, but at the manipulation. He didn't know how to handle this, how to communicate. How to behave. He wasn't equipped, he wasn't ready, he wasn't enough. The caretaker must have sensed his panic because she gave a gentle nod, then stepped aside to allow him a moment. He considered walking out. The thought tore at him because he knew the pain of abandonment too well, yet fear clung to him like a shadow. But then he looked at Mevan again, really looked, and something inside him softened. She wasn't expecting pity. Her gaze wasn't pleading, it was patient, calm, braver than he felt. So he stayed. They talked. Through the device, exchanged typed messages displayed on a small screen, and slowly the awkwardness dissolved. Mevan told him she enjoyed watching sunlight shift through the trees, how she painted by guiding her caretaker's hands, how she understood loneliness more deeply than most people her age. Corbin shared pieces of himself too, Noah, the accident, the struggle, the exhaustion he hid behind cheap jokes. To his surprise, she laughed silently at those, her shoulders trembling lightly, her eyes brightening. Before they parted, Mevan typed a final message. You looked like someone holding a storm. Talking to me made it quiet. That line echoed in him for days. Over the next weeks, he visited her more often. What began as hesitant meetings grew into something he couldn't describe. She had a way of listening that made him feel seen, even without words. She had strength where he had doubt, calm where he had restlessness. Noah adored her, often sitting beside her wheelchair and showing her drawings while she responded with animated expressions and excited, delicate gestures. Their tiny trio felt strangely complete. One afternoon, Corbin found Mevan in the garden of her care center, sunlight pooling across her blanket, the breeze lifting her braid. She seemed quieter than usual, distant almost, as if she were gathering courage. Her caretaker brought over her device. After a long pause, Meven began typing slowly, her fingers trembling. "There's something I haven't told you. I didn't think you would stay if you knew, and I didn't want to lose the only person who looks at me like I'm more than what I cannot do." Corbin felt tension tighten in him, a fearful question forming. As the text continued appearing, Meven kept her eyes closed. "My condition will get worse. Doctors say I might lose the remaining mobility in my hands. And eventually, I might not be able to type or paint anymore. I understand if this changes things." Corbin felt the breath leave his body, not because he wanted to leave, but because she believed she wasn't worth staying for. He knelt beside her wheelchair, his hand hovering near hers without touching until she nodded permission. Their fingers curled together gently. He whispered, even though he knew she couldn't hear, but she watched his lips and read the truth in his trembling voice. "You are not a burden. You are a blessing I didn't know I needed." Tears escaped her eyes, not from sadness but release. She typed again, shakier this time. "No one has ever said that to me, and that was what broke him. Not her condition, not her fear, but the loneliness she had carried for so long, the longing to be valued simply as a soul deserving of love." They stayed there until the sky turned golden, until Noah arrived with a drawing he made just for her, a picture of all three of them holding hands under the sun. Meven cried again, the most beautiful kind of tears. Their bond didn't erase challenges. Corbin still struggled with work and stability. Meven still faced her health with terrifying uncertainty. But together, truly together, they found a strange, radiant strength. Love didn't fix everything. It just made the broken places gentler. And sometimes gentle is enough to rebuild a life. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to Soul of Light so more people can feel hope where they thought none was left. Your support means more than you know. Special request: please comment a heart or kind word to send love to anyone who feels alone today.